guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Brian from Keyblade across the nation. Our lucky Patreon for today's episode is Justin Mueller. Justin, you rock. Just to make it clear, I'm currently using a lamp right now because of the fact that our light is busted right now, so I'm kind of in the dark, so bear with it if you can. But aside from that, everything that came out today, honestly, I'm still recovering from it. Like, I want to say it's a little ridiculous, but that's kind of an understatement. So just to explain it over real quick. All right, so we are getting 6 banners. Okay, we're getting the Foreteller EX banner again that we just got like 3-4 weeks ago. But we're also getting all 5 Foreteller EX medals at the same time.
Got him!
Which is like, why? Why is Square Enix doing this? It's clearly a cash grab, and they're trying to pull it off like it's some, like, in the spirit of Black Friday stuff, and no one's falling for it. Like, this is just it's unheard of. They didn't do this in the JP version, but they're doing it for us, and it just further illustrates like why I created this channel, to try and help you guys out because of stuff like this that Square Enix is trying to pull on us, which it makes my blood boil a little bit how frustrating this can be, especially when like a good portion of us were like highly waiting for these medals. Because of the fact they want to do low blows like this, I'm honestly not surprised anymore if we get like the new illustrated Shion EX medal that just came out in JP like next month, or even like 2 weeks from now. I honestly would not be surprised because of how they're dealing with the global version, and it kind of it sucks to see this happening to such an awesome game and like franchise. But like it's like at this point, like, what can we do? I'll go over those medals in a sec, but let me go over with the other stuff that we got coming out today. We also received 3,000 free jewels, which is pretty nice. That actually makes sense for like a Black Friday type thing, you know, make everything cheaper and whatnot. We also got a 0 AP campaign, which makes sense. I don't agree that we should have another 0 AP campaign. I feel like 0 AP during competitive weeks, which they practically have just been doing every single competitive week, but in my opinion, that just ruins what it means to be competitive. But enough about that. Let me go on to the other stuff. So they're also throwing in another Spirit Part blind box deal, but this time for only 300 jewels, which I actually appreciate. I'm glad that they did this because I never got to say it last time, but the last time that they did the Spirit Part box deal thing, it was 500 jewels, and to me that was too much. That was way too pricey. Like, I personally would price it around 100 to 300, and thankfully they actually put it at 300 this time. I would hope that they have it more that price in the future, because at the very least now your daily jewels can help pay for the spirit parts. Like, you're not losing jewels every single time, so that's actually a good deal. The avatar boards are actually fairly decent as well. They have some pretty decent skills. None of them that I would consider actually like must-have skills or anything like that. So if you get those, I only recommend getting those avatar boards solely if you don't have enough skills to put on your medals. That's pretty much where like I'm at with those. Aside from that, like that. I mean, they're fairly decent and good. Like, if you want to get them, go ahead and get them. One thing I do like for this, okay, I actually enjoy the fact that they have the daily Organization 13 event, like every single day for like the next week or two. I actually think that's pretty cool. I was actually wondering why we never got an Organization 13 event this month either. So now the fact that we have this, it kind of makes sense. I still find it kind of odd because we only have 12 members of the organization instead of the 13. Hashtag Roxas. My second problem I have with this event, though, as cool as it is the fact that we only get like 4 medals for each one, which doesn't make sense. Like, it's supposed to be like a repeat type thing, like a repeat banner. Like why are they only giving us like half the banner or half the event, I should say? It doesn't make sense, especially when it's supposed to help you, like just like it says, like stuff you missed out on. Like I never got Zigbar B, I never got Xemnas B, but also this month we're also, or this week I should say, we're also getting the magic boosters. So just like the power and speed, it's pretty much the same thing. Follow the like proud mode type quests to get the boosters. It's fairly easy if you have the medals. If you don't, you might struggle. Let me talk about what each medal does. Envy is a magic upright medal, AoE, tier 7. It has a 3.12 to a 4.32 multiplier, and it only uses 1 gauge. It deals 4 hits, and for 2 turns, it'll raise your magic strength by 7. The target's defense, it'll lower the target's defense by 2, and magic defense by 7. And inflicts more damage with 1 enemy left, including raid bosses. I feel like that's a really cool aspect, that it also includes the raid bosses too. And also, it doesn't affect enemy countdowns. Now, Aced is the exact same thing, except for power. Like the multiplier, the effect, the gauge, like it's literally the exact same thing but for power. So it's just a power version. So if you need a power version, hey, you got a set over here. Gula is also the exact same thing. However, the only notable difference between Gula and Aced and Envy is the fact that Gula raises your speed defense by 7 instead of your speed strength by 7. So you don't actually get the strength buff, but you get a defense buff, which is kind of interesting, but in my opinion, it's not nearly as good as the Aced and Envy medals. I would personally go over those two instead of Gula, just because this Gula does defense instead of strength. So let's go to the 4th and 5th one. Ira, he's a power upright medal, AoE, tier 7, same multiplier, same gauge, and for 2 turns, he raises upright strength by 1, lowers target's defense, PSM defense by 7, and their defense by 2. And he inflicts more damage with 1 enemy left, including raid bosses, and countdowns are unaffected. So he's basically more of a damage medal. Now, like, granted, he doesn't do like the actual like attribute buff like Envy or Aced does, but he does have that upright buff, which is relevant because at the very least, what that means is you can have like the rest. You can have like the other buff medals on your Keyblade be the attribute buff medals that you would be using for your Keyblade, and then you have the Ira medal to give you the upright buff. On top of he's doing almost a full PSM. He's doing a full PSM debuff for you with the defense. So that right there helps out a lot. And he has a pretty high multiplier, especially for an AoE too. So that's like the other Foreteller medal that I personally think is amongst the best, and I would probably personally go after this one amongst all 5 first. I would personally want to get Ava EX, primarily because, so going over her, she's a magic upright medal, AoE tier 7, same multiplier, same gauge, for 2 turns. She raises your PSM defense by 2, lowers the target's defense by 2, and their PSM defense by 7 tiers, and inflicts more damage and the rest is the same. Inflicts more damage when there's only 1 enemy left, and countdowns are unaffected. So essentially, picture this. So essentially, in a way, she's like a much more highly damaging version of the HPO medal, which is actually pretty good. Now, the only thing notable that Ava doesn't do, that HPO does, is that HPO actually increases both your defense and your PSM defense, whereas Ava only increases your PSM defense, and that's worth noting, okay? Because honestly, there's not a lot of medals that actually increase just defense. There's quite a few medals that will increase your attribute defense or PSM defense, but there's not a lot that will actually increase your actual defense, and that's kind of where
HPO shines is because of the fact it legitimately just gives you pure defense overall. Like just any defense you could think of, it just gives it to you. And that's worth noting. So that's the quick rundown of what they do. Now let me talk about whether or not you should actually get the medals. I personally, so in their announcement, in the shop and stuff, each Foreteller medal is a 20 mercy pool. And to me that's completely ludicrous. And Kyrie EX is obviously back with a falling price deal. Here's where I stand about this. If you haven't gotten Kyrie EX yet, you're pretty much going for Kyrie EX. Like the Foretellers are pretty much wasted on you at this point because of the fact you won't be able to afford getting them until you get Kyrie EX, assuming you still have jewels left to even pull for Foretellers. But you're going for Kyrie EX because she's still the most broken medal in the game, regardless. But if you do have Kyrie EX, you are probably going to want to get one of the Foreteller medals, or at least try to. And it's just a matter of choosing which one you want. Here's where I stand on this. If you already have Kyrie EX, I would recommend not pulling from the Foreteller medals, or at least not trying to like actually go for the Foreteller medals. Okay. Now, it's possible you might be looking at me like, but I really want this medal. Like I've been looking forward to it. Here's the problem. Okay. Yes, they are good. However, think of it like this too. Okay. They will always come back, but there are some banners that we are looking forward to right now, or I'm looking forward to right now, that are probably more important than the Foreteller medals right now. And an example of this are the copy medal banner that's about to come up soon. I honestly would not be surprised if as soon as the Foreteller medal banners expire, I would not be surprised if the copy medal banner comes out immediately afterwards. And to me, I would much rather have the copy medals from that banner instead of the Foreteller like EX medals. As strange as that might sound, I would much rather have the copy medals instead of the EX medals. Why? Because copy medals are essentially like the bread and butter of all competitive setups, okay? Like, you can have all the EX medals you want, but most likely you're only going to have one, maybe even two if you're lucky, on a Keyblade. The rest of your Keyblade needs to be able to like help support that. And the best way to do that is with copy medals. Copy medals are like, they're just universally the best medals in the game in my opinion. They copy damage medals as well as buff medals. They literally do everything. Like, what more can you want? Like, it's literally the bread and butter, and it'll be cheaper too, and you're guaranteed the copy medals. So just be aware of that. On top of, there is a new in JP, they released a new medal. So they essentially released like the next Kyrie EX medal in the game. So I don't know about you guys, but for me, I'm saving up for this next medal just because of how important it is. So we know what Kyrie EX does, okay? And she provides the upright buff as well. So they released a new medal in JP called Illustrated Shion EX, which does the exact same thing as Kyrie EX, except she provides a reverse buff instead of an upright buff. And that's worth noting because right now the only reason why I use like purely upright medal like setups is because of the fact Kyrie only provides an upright buff. She does not provide the reverse buff. And I personally really want to use my Sephiroth EX medal again, like, because it's just a really good medal, but it's just strictly inferior to the upright medals now, even like basic upright medals, because of the fact that they will receive the upright buff, but Sephiroth EX cannot. And that's how vitally important Shion EX is. The fact that she can do that now too. So, but that's also worth noting for it. Like, I personally would probably save for Shion EX and the copy medal banner. Those are what I would be saving for right now. I would probably not spend for anything else. But other than that, that's it for today, guys. I wanted to quickly go over that video for you before I get too sidetracked and too busy with my other stuff. But That's it for today, guys. My name is Brian from Kingdom Hearts Union Cross Nation. If you enjoyed the episode, please leave a like and subscribe. And feel free to help the channel out by becoming a Patreon. The link is in the description below. Even $1 a month can help keep the lights on and help contribute to me giving back to you guys, the community. If you guys have missed out and didn't see it in my last video, I'm actually doing a free giveaway for free VIP access next week. The giveaway ends at the end of rank week. So as soon as the reset happens on Monday, the giveaway is over and you can't get any more until I do my next giveaway. So that's an easy 3,000 jewels to help you get any of these foretellers or that Kyrie EX if you still need it. So take advantage of it while you still can. It's a very easy process. There's only 3 steps. And I just gotta say, like, have at it. Knock yourselves out. But that's it for today, guys. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.